All right. All righty. So this is fun. This is the first time I'm doing an episode of talking to myself at home. And from at my home office, our home office. So this gonna be fun. So I got my drink, got my cameras, we got the audio set up. Let's just fucking do this. Today's topic, what I really want to jam on, it's ego. I talked about this on a podcast, I don't know, fucking maybe a month and a half ago, whatever it is. And I preluded like, hey, this is definitely going to be a talking to myself topic because I am so fucking obsessed with the idea of ego. So obsessed with it. And I look at it as this two-headed monster. But I don't fucking know anyone in any I don't care if you're fucking Muhammad Ali or you're, Al Pacino or you're fucking Gandhi or you're a fucking successful business owner, you're Elon Musk, you're fucking George Washington, you're anybody. Anybody who's done anything had some level of ego. That's good. And when I think of ego, I think it instantly gets this negative kind of thing, right? Like we hear ego like, oh, that guy's got a huge ego, he's an asshole. We instantly associate ego with cockiness, right? You literally instantly associate having an ego with being a cocky piece of shit. And I don't believe that whatsoever. I think ego is essentially one of the key elements to being able to do this thing that we do. And I'm assuming when I say we, you are like me in that you started a business. Let's just talk about that for a second, right? Like literally, you had the fucking audacity, the balls to say, you know what? There's a thing that I am so fucking good at that I could do it and charge money for it and people will fucking pay it. That's how fucking good I am. I'm that fucking good. I'm better than everyone else in town that's doing it. Or even at this point, I've got an idea nobody else has. Jesus Christ, can we just all agree for a second that when we think we have an idea that nobody else has ever had, that's probably the most ego comment you could ever make. I thought something in my fucking mammalian brain, right here, I thought something, and no one else in the history of the world has ever thought it. Maybe they've thought it, but they didn't have the balls that I got. I got big old fucking balls, and they don't have the balls to pull the trigger and execute on it. Is that not the most ego fucking reality and come to Jesus moment that a business owner has? Especially when they think they have an idea, what I call that white space theory. Ego is so fucking necessary to start a business. So fucking necessary. I don't know why we can't, kind of retool the conversation around ego a little bit and talk a little bit more about how ego can be, what would be the word? I'm going to pause a lot more on this one because I just want to drink more. How can we go ahead and give a new operational definition, or how can we go ahead and, retool the way we think about ego, right? How can we give it a different reputation by embracing ego? And there are so many amazing fucking business owners and guys doing nonprofits and fucking just good people out there that had the audacity to think they could do something better than everyone else. That's all I'm saying. I just don't get why we have to take ego and pair it with the negativity, right, with the black sheep kind of thing, with the cockiness thing, the asshole thing. I get that a ton. I get that a fuck ton. I mean, as you can imagine, a lot of people who don't like What the Fuck Jim Talk think I'm a huge asshole. I mean, fuck, people who like What the Fuck Jim Talk think I'm a huge asshole. Asshole. I might have had a few of these beforehand, so just bear with me on this one. And they're not wrong, But I a lot of it that I get is that I'm very cocky. I feel very confident that I'm great at what I do. I'm very assertive in my things, and I stand very firmly on it. I'm not afraid to be wrong, but I believe I have better ideas than you, and I believe I can execute on them better. And that you get pegged as having an ego. And I hear it, I'm like, well, thank you. I don't think there's anything wrong with having an ego. I think the gym owners that don't have egos are the ones that are super susceptible to just getting their dicks rubbed in the dirt and going fucking down, just not making it to a certain point. Because there will be a point in time when someone else shows up and their ego, their confidence in themselves, their product, the research they've done, the hard work they've put in, gives them this sense of, I am the best at this in here. You thought you were the best, but you have no idea the work I've been putting in behind the fucking scenes. You haven't seen nothing yet, motherfucker. You haven't seen anything yet. Oh, you think because you've been here in the market longer that I just can't walk in, kick open the fucking door, and just drop a client experience, a product, a service, a brand, a business that is literally just going to bitch slap yours? Give me 7 years and you'll be fucking done. You don't think like there's somebody that isn't thinking that now that's going to move into your market? Hello? Fucking Orange Theory, F45, that's exactly what they fucking think. They know that they are amazing at what they do, the one thing they do very, very well. They know they can walk in your town, your market, kick in the fucking door, say, what up, bitch, and start doing their thing. And they could crush you. And because if you are sitting there and you're very Play-Doh-y, right? Like very soft about the confidence level you have in your thing. If you really look at it and you're like, man, I got really lucky. I don't really know how we got here. I'm really happy for my fucking 138 members. And every day I'm super grateful for them, but I'm not really sure how we got here. Like, you don't have any confidence? Like, I know exactly how the fuck I got here. For those of you guys who own CrossFit gyms, this is what I ping it as. Ego is the member who gets a muscle up or a double under, and they're not surprised. They're not surprised. They don't fucking wig out, right? They don't fucking like scream and go, oh my God. Like, they get this high level skill for them, and they're like, okay, cool. You want to know why they're not fucking surprised? Because it didn't happen by fucking accident. They planned for it. They trained for it. They watched the videos. They've been practicing this forever. So when it finally happened, to them, it wasn't, oh, goody, look at me. Oh my God, get the photo. It was about fucking time. I've been waiting for this. I've been planning for this. The business owner who's like the Play-Doh-y soft guy who doesn't really know how he got there, he's like that client you have that gets the double under and wigs the fuck out, like freaks out. And then the coach says, hey, great, do it again. And they say, I can't. What do you mean you can't? I don't know how it happened. I got lucky, I guess. They hadn't trained for it. They hadn't prepared for it. It just fucking happened by accident. They get that muscle up and they're at the top of the rings and they're like, oh my God, get the photo, because if I come down, I ain't fucking ever getting back up because I have no fucking clue how I got here in the first place. That's the business owner who has made it to a certain point. You've been in business 3, 5, 9 years, but you're still not confident. You don't think you're the shit yet. You don't think you're better than the other guys in your market because you have nothing to support it. You think about it like, fuck, I don't know, maybe was I in the right place at the right time? Did I just have was I CrossFit, LA? I just had a great name, like CrossFit South End, and the name CrossFit at the right time? Or did I actually have a tangible fucking strategy? Do I actually know what the fuck it is I was doing? And those of us, and I put myself in this category, that know that we didn't slip, trip, and fall into this, know what we did to achieve it, we can actually write it down in words, we develop an ego. And that fucking ego says, dare me to do it a fucking again, and I will. That ego says, I'm not worried about a downtick. I'm not worried about a recession. I'm not worried about fucking F45, orange berries, fuckface fitness walking in. Why? because I know what I did to get here. And I know if I want to compete, I just have to continue to improve the thing I did to get here. Or I maybe need to pivot. I need to make changes. Like some of us have done, being CrossFit gyms and going and developing our own unique brand in the market. Like me, I'm using me as an example. I know what I did with CrossFit South End to make it very successful. Yes, I had the word CrossFit in South End, the most popular, hip, cool, trendy borough in fucking Charlotte, North Carolina, with the most hip, trendy, cool fitness methodology buzzword at the time. Crushed it. I get it. I understand the luckiness of that, but I know why we did crush it, because trust me, there were plenty of CrossFit blank, with very popular names in Charlotte that didn't crush it, that are no longer here or they're on their way the fuck out. I know what I did. I can literally write it down. It's a strat. Like I can talk about it. It's what I do with you guys when I make this content. I have a giant, huge, gargantuan, throbbing fucking ego. I have a huge ego. I'm beyond confident in myself. So much so that even when my business experiences downticks, right? When my business gets fucking punched in the goddamn face, it's not making as much money. We maybe have a loss. We do this. I lose some members. I lose some employees. When shit hits the fan, I can stand on my fucking ego and be like, no, it wasn't a fluke that you got here. You know what the fuck you're doing. Do you know how fucking nice that is? Do you know how reassuring that is to be my own fucking biggest cheerleader? This idea of ego, right? If we were to boil this down, and I took some notes on this beforehand, so not, I don't want you to try to push this off like 100%. This is coming straight from the dome. The majority of this is, but one thing I thought of, I wrote the word ego down and I stared at it before I kicked all these cameras on. And I stared at it, and the acronym, the energy you give out, and I realize that doesn't play out perfectly, but just play along. The energy you give out is what I consider ego. Some people, I think we all have ego. We have a certain amount of energy we give out. The energy I want to give out to my competitors, to my employees, to my members, is that I am fully confident in what we're doing. Whether it's the training methodology we do now at Urban Movement is better than CrossFit, in my opinion. It's better than what I did at CrossFit South End. It's better than what my competitors are doing. It's not the best, it's better. And if you guys have heard my rant on better over best, you get what I mean. If you haven't, you need to go check that shit out. I have that ego, and it is the energy I give out. That energy is infectious. You guys ever been around someone just amazingly confident? Like, you ever see like how Tony Robbins is able to sell out Madison Square Garden and fucking people are just going absolutely insane? Like, he's a televangelist of like success and motivation. It's because the dude just oozes ego and confidence. He's sure of himself. He likes himself. He's his biggest cheerleader. So I'm having this conversation over the weekend about if you should or should not be your biggest cheerleader. I think you should be. 100,000 fucking %. You should be your biggest cheerleader. Guess what happens when you're your biggest cheerleader? That means you've got a fucking dose of ego. You have to. You have to think you are the shit. You like the way you look. You like the way you talk. You know you're intelligent. You're good with your members. You're amazing to your employees. You have great creativity and brand presence. You know how to look at the market and see things that are coming. And if you're like, fuck, I don't have all those, then it's probably why you wouldn't consider yourself having too much of an ego. And I'm here to tell you that the energy you give out of that confidence, of that knowledge and all that is vitally important to your business. Now, I'm not telling you that if you're like, well, Stu, I don't like know branding really well. And I don't have a lot of employees. I don't really know if I'm good with my employees yet. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that great at sales. I'm trying, but I'm not that, I'm not telling you to like fake an ego. What I want you to do then is think about the energy you give out on the things you are decent at, on the things that you do know well, that you do well. and have a fucking ego about those. I know there's gonna be so many of us, and I'm this too. I can't do everything in my business. I outsource branding. I outsource fucking finances. There's lots that I'm not good at in my business, like not good enough to do my own. And but the things that I don't dwell on those. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not good at that. Let me get someone who's awesome at it. Even branding. Like you guys all know I started working with Metcon Creative and Boris down there, fucking the boomerang throwers down under. And Boris and guys like Joe Tabaldi and these guys I work with for brand, they're fucking amazing. Amazing branding brains. I think I'm really fucking good. Like I've got ego about how good I am, but I'm not as good as they are. So I defer that. But I still have confidence in my skill set, but I don't inflate it to the point where like, oh fuck, Stu says I gotta have ego. Shit, I'm not good at sales. But no, fuck it, I'm the best at sales. No, if you're not the best, you fucking suck. If you suck at sales, you suck at sales. You can work at getting better. And then as you get better and you close more sales, you get more confident and you can start spitting out fucking objection handles and this, that, and getting preferred additional outcomes and all. You will develop a bit of an ego. I never had an ego about myself in sales until I went to Globo Gym. And that was like, I'm the fucking man. It could be closing. None of you guys have ever been in sales. It could be closing day. We need another X amount of thousand in EFT and cash to hit our sales goal at the Globo Gym. Fuck it, dude. To get me out on the floor, I'll do a floor pull. I will grab some chick, get the fucking AirPod out of her fucking ears, get her to talk to me, show her that her fucking stupid exercise isn't helping. And before you know it, she's signing up for a fucking $280 a month, $450 a month, 12-month EFT PT package. Like that was like put me in, coach. I can throw strikes. I didn't have that at first. I developed it. You can develop confidence in yourself and get an ego. There's a lot of guys out there that do what I do in the world of business coaching and helping, micro gym owners. And I think that look at like having it, like, I bet you if they were to make a piece of content on this after maybe seeing this, it would sound something like being confident in yourself is good, knowing where your shortfall, like we'd all be saying the same thing. I am just embracing the word ego because I want to take away the demonizing of it. I want us all to embrace ego. I want you to be proud of having a fucking ego. The energy you give out is infectious. It shows leadership. People want to follow you because you sound like you know what the fuck you're talking about. This, where a lot of you guys can relate to this. Nutrition. I see it in the fitness industry a ton, nutrition-wise, and I bet maybe a lot of you guys do too. Nutrition is something that a lot of you guys are, let's admit, you're barely fucking trainers. You've been doing this for like under 10 years. You were a fucking CPA or a registered nurse, or you were a fucking dental hygienist, or you worked at FedEx, and you found fitness and it changed your life. You own a gym. And again, I've made plenty of content on this. You're working on becoming a fitness professional. Every day you get more experience. You're getting more continuing ed. You are working towards being a professional. You're probably not there yet, but your name's on the building and you're servicing people. So, let's fake it till we make it. Nutrition is one of the ones that a lot of trainers are just like, fuck, I don't want to touch it. Like in the state of North Carolina, I'm just really grateful I don't have to, right? I'm not a registered dietitian. I legally can't give advice on all that because nutrition is something I'm very confident. I can have a very, sit me down with John Berardi and I'll be able to like hold my own. He will crush me. John Berardi, for those of you who know, is the precision nutrition guy. Fucking genius nutrition. I can hold my own conversation, but the second we go down a couple rabbit holes, he's going to whoop my ass if we get into a debate. But I feel like a lot of trainers, like nutrition is one of those things like I don't want to talk about it because I know I don't know it. Good. Don't have an ego about nutrition. Don't have an ego about it. Don't even try to get one. Like realize it's like, fuck, it feels like imposter syndrome. I am not fucking with it. I'm going to hire that. I'm going to outsource that. You don't need to have an ego about everything. You do need to have an ego, I think, about enough things that your business delivers, sells, produces, creates an experience on, that you are very egocentric on how good you guys are at it. Like beyond confident. Mike Jones, one of the co-founders of Alchemy, when he came to the Self-Made Summit, his keynote was so fucking good. I've watched it. I think I've watched it now 5 full times, start to finish 5 times. Those of you guys who haven't picked up the remote access to the Self-Made Summit, you probably should buy that. It's still available for purchase. But anyway, I love just throwing random plugs in here. Mike throughout the entire keynote plugs in the confidence and the ego he has in the brand he's created with Alchemy. Like, they're just these fun little moments where like Mike's like, I truly believe my brand is the best. I think it's better than all you fuckers out there. Like, he had these, they're very playful moments, but he's not lying. He does think his brand is better than everybody else's out there. Because what other move is there? You ever hear like, for those of you guys in the CrossFit sport thing, like they'll ask games athletes this, are you here to win? Like when they're talking about competitions and they're like, well, yeah, why the fuck else would I even step on the playing field if I didn't want to win? Right? You see like LeBron and fucking, the Peyton Mannings of the world, the Tom Brady's of the world, the Ronaldos of the world. Like these guys are just crazy fucking just competitive people that believe they're the best in their field. And if someone asks them, like, do you think you're going to win? Do you think you're the best out here? Of course. And if I don't think that, I probably shouldn't be out here at all. And I agree with that. And I think we don't talk about that enough with our business. I don't think we think of ego that way. Start thinking of ego after this piece of content. It's the energy you give out. What kind of energy is that? And when you get confident enough in yourself and you're, walk up, your chest is tall, your chin's up, you're proud, you're making eye contact, you sound very assertive in what it is you're talking about because you've actually done the research, you've got the experience, all that, you might just someone might say, like, dude, that guy's got a killer, he's got a ton of ego, I don't like him. Guess what? You're making them feel uncomfortable. Because they're probably judging themselves because they don't know as much. They wish they had as much bravado as you and energy and confidence. People that talk shit on people with ego, like when I get it, listen, I get that I razz your feathers because I fucking call you a fuckface and I use the word cunty and all this other, I get it. I know I'm not the most popular dude out there, trust me, because I have a potty mouth. I know that. But I think one of the reasons I razz people more is because I am stupid confident in the shit I say, and some of the shit I say is a little controversial. It rubs people the wrong way, but I stand on it so firmly you couldn't knock me off if you had a fucking crane. Literally, like I created a fucking podcast episode called I May Be Wrong, But I Doubt It, where I bring people on to argue me on points. That's how confident I'll talk, fucking give me anybody. I will argue any topic that I truly believe in. I love debate. If you can't tell, I did debate in high school. I will argue any topic I believe in. I don't give a fuck. I was that kid that in high school, like debate, when like topics would come up, I would take the position of pro-Holocaust. Like, because I just wanted to fucking just develop myself to be this fucking iron shield of like, if I truly can just frame an argument around it, I can fucking fend off any other counter argument. Pro-Holocaust. I'm just kidding. I'm not pro-Holocaust. The Holocaust is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. Oh my God, that's gonna be a good soundbite. Listen. So besides me not being pro-Holocaust, I want to talk about ego, the negatives of it too, right? So obviously, you guys to recap. If you're going to open up a business and have the audacity that you are going to do something better than anyone in the world, anyone in your market, you have an idea nobody else has had, you have ego. Embrace it. Embellish it. Make it stronger. Make it, own it. Feel proud of it. I'm so fucking proud of my ego. If someone told me you're an egomaniac, I'd be like, thank you. You want a hug? I'd love to hug you right now. Can we get a selfie? I don't think that's a bad thing. Why? Because I know the things I suck at, and I get other people, I find people better at me than that. I don't sit here delusional that I'm the best in the world at everything. I don't think I'm better than, let me take this back. I think my product and my service and me as an operator and a business owner and an entrepreneur and a creative and all that, and I'm better. I don't believe I'm the best in the world. I don't sit here and think that I can't learn from anyone. Fuck, the Self-Made Summit, I surrounded myself by guys who fucking sun me. Fucking just could mushroom stamp me with their fucking success. Boom. Oh, you got one cute little location? Boom, I got 9. Boom, Brandon Cullen just fucking mushroom stamps me with his fucking metabolic dick. I fucking surround myself around guys that are better than me. And you think I've got a fucking negative ego? You think I'm a fucking asshole? All I do is fuck with people that are doing better than me. But I still believe that my thing in my market and my level with my competitors, I am doing better. My product is better for a certain avatar. I believe you put me toe to toe, I'm a better operator. I'm a better business fitness entrepreneur. Yeah, that's ego. And if that comes with a negative connotation with it and you don't like it, you write somebody off because of that, that's perfectly fine. But goddamn, I just cannot even fathom assembling your weapons of characteristic and personality and demeanor and who you are as a person to build a business that's going to, stand the test of time, that's going to, compete in a very, very competitive fitness market without ego being one of the fucking weapons, like at your fucking disposal, like at your hip, in holster, cocked, ready to go. All right. So that's my spiel on where I like ego, right? Like what I think of ego, the energy you give out. All right. Now let's talk about how we can use it and it backfires on us. All right. Let's talk about that. All right. So when we're talking about ego and that negative aspect, right? And we are referencing people who let ego get the best of them. I think we all know what that looks like. It's somebody who has stepped outside of their lane and they believe because maybe they've had some early success or they believe because they're an owner, right? They have a title. This building is mine. That equipment's mine. Those are my members. Right? They don't leave the ego at the door. My favorite is the, you see it a lot in like the mixed modal strength and conditioning gyms, the CrossFit affiliates. There's a lot of this conversation of members, leave your ego at the door. You ever hear that? Leave your ego at the door. I hear that all the fucking time. Guess who I can't say never. Guess who I rarely see abide by that? The fucking gym owner that put that up above the door in the first place. I hear gym owners with the biggest fucking egos in ways that are negative, that are the antagonist to what I was just talking about. Here's some examples of how the ego in a micro gym owner, and I'm gonna, obviously niche down into my thing, lets it turn on them. Okay? So titles can go to people's head. And I think a lot of people, especially when you were an employee somewhere, and at some point you decided to go ahead and do your own thing, and you took a risk, and you signed a lease, and you got the equipment, and now you got your fucking name on the building, and you got a brand, and like you sell your first 20, 30, 60, 70, 80, 100, 200, whatever memberships you have accumulated, paying people. You're the man. You're the head coach. Everyone knows you. You're the shit. Like, there can be an ego. And then I see it happen once HR comes in. So you have these gym owners who we are, generally solo operators. We wear all the hats. We did it all. And then we get to a point where we realize we have to invest in people, HR. And maybe you don't realize that. You just don't want to have to get up at 5:30 in the morning anymore. And so you hire that part-time coach or whatever the fuck it may be. I've got other thoughts on that whole route. And now you position yourself above them. Like, oh, no. I'm the owner. I don't know if you know, it said CEO, founder, member. That's me. I'm the guy. And I see ego, not necessarily owner to customer. I see ego owner to employee or contractor or energy exchange, whatever that hierarchy of compensation and employee classification you have with your staff. That's where I see it the most. And that's where I cannot recommend for you guys to really step back and think about, does your ego get in the way with the people who ultimately are going to grow your business? I have the least ego with my staff. And, Isaac will probably listen to this, right? And Deuce. And me and Isaac will butt heads on shit. And there are times where we do not agree. And ultimately it comes down, I go, Isaac, bottom line is we're going to do it this way because I'm me and I said so. Because it's my business and I said so. Now that generally happens very, very rarely. I could count on a couple, again, 1, 2, maybe 3 times a year. I overrule her with the, yeah, I get it, but I'm the fucking guy. I'm calling the shots. Now, those of you guys who have a good track record, you've done well, you've grown a business, you've proven to be capable of making good decisions, that generally is good enough. Now, if you haven't proven, right? You fucked up a bunch, business is in debt, you fired the wrong people, they left, they opened their own gym, they stole a bunch of it. Like if you have a bad track record of not making the right decisions, then yeah, you might have someone a little resistant to you, and that, this whole like, well, I'm the owner, and people are like, well, who the fuck cares? Do you remember what the fuck you decided to do with the last $20,000 of profit we had? You bought all those stupid fucking assault runners. Nobody fucking uses them, but we can't pay our fucking taxes, and I can't get a fucking raise. Like, again, if you've been making bad business decisions, this won't work. But short of you pulling that card out very, 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 very rarely, that is the number one thing I see. I see a gym owner use their status as owner to do whatever, to show up late for class and just walk in on the class and take the class, right? Even though he would chew out members or bitch at the members if they did that, right? Tells maybe the coaches, no, you can't do your own programming in the corner, but then he goes and does it. One of the things that you want some real transparency. You guys all know one of our core values when I rebranded the business was to be endearing, and the operational definition for endearing for us is to always put the client first. And one of the ways we live that at Urban Movement is by parking in a very inconvenient spot. Very inconvenient is just silly to say. It's across the fucking street. It's an annoying street, no cross, whatever. It's not that inconvenient, but we just park out of the way so that the members can get the best parking spot. I didn't always used to do that. I used to, at my old location at Crosswood South End, I would pull my truck up right outside the door. Yeah, I would be that guy. My truck right outside the door. Why? Because it was my business. It was just easier. And I remember one day as we were like really kind of going into like what Urban was going to be and how it was going to be different and all this stuff, I saw that and I didn't like it. I didn't like what it stood for. I don't know what it was. I think maybe it was, what was it? Is it Creating Raving Fans? It's one of those books where there is a manager or owner and he doesn't have a office, on the second floor of the loft above all his plebes, all his employees. His office is dead center in the middle, and everyone is able to access him and see what he's doing and see that he's being productive. And he doesn't seclude himself at an ivory tower. And something about that book, I feel like it was Raving Fans. Maybe some of you guys who read business books and don't skim them like I do can remind me. But I read that and I was like, holy fuck. Like, I'm that cocksucker that is obviously setting a shitty example. I'm not putting the customer first by doing that. It just sets a bad example of like, I'm here, you're there. That was a bad ego. That was ego getting the best of me. And so we changed it. And I'm really happy that we did. But when owners allow their status as an owner, I'm the owner. Like, I hate telling people I'm the owner. God, do I hate it more than anything in the world. Even when I first started off, I would, if I was ever at like at a bar or a social setting and someone said what it is that you do, I never told them what I did. I know a lot of you like, oh man, you're missing out on clients. Like, no, and you go to the bars I go to, you're not picking up any clients there, trust me. But it was just one of these fucking things where I just didn't want, I hated saying I'm the owner. Like even now, when I'm at the front desk folding towels or I'm just kind of walking around, I'm like, hey, what's up? Is it first class? They're like, yeah. Do you work here? Is the question I get. I'm like, I do. They're like, oh, that's cool. Great. How long you've worked here? I'm like, fuck, it's been forever, man. Like 2009, 10. I never be like, oh, well, I'm the owner. Like, and I hate when Isaac does it. Isaac was something like, this is our owner, Stu. And I'm always like, you're not my slaves. This is our owner, Stu. This isn't fucking Amistad. Like, you're not like, I hate when people like, oh, this is the owner's. I fucking hate that. It like makes my fucking skin crawl. Because I've completely changed my psyche on that entire thing. So it's one of the biggest ways I really see that ego fucks up a micro gym owner is when you let your status of being owner change the way you treat your people, whether it be your members or your employees. Right? You fuck it again, like, maybe one of your employees has an idea and it's an idea you don't necessarily love, But instead of maybe having like a good constructive leadership and development, like a staff development conversation out of it, you just fucking dunce them on the fucking head. Like, no, we're not doing that. Why? Because I fucking said so. That's my favorite. Like when the owner's like, no, we're not doing it. Why? Because I fucking said so and it's my business. When that's like your go-to fucking response, instead of using that as a teaching opportunity, a development opportunity, God, you don't fucking deserve to have anyone work for you. You've let your ego just completely get in the way of maybe a really cool leadership and development opportunity. Every bad idea is an opportunity to learn from it, right? How many bad ideas do owners have all the time? Do I have all the time? That you have all the time? We just don't have anyone to fucking come up to us and say, no, you fucking, like, we don't have that. We just trial and error and we learn. But then we have an employee suggest something that's a bad idea. And yeah, maybe we've played chess on this in our experience. And I was like, God, no, that's not going to work. But instead of just shutting them down and not even giving the opportunity to like talk it out so they can see where maybe the errors of their strategy or their ways went, you're like, nope, I'm the fucking owner. That's how it's going to go. Anyway, that's one of the biggest ones that just drives me up a fucking wall when it comes to ego. Give me a second. I got a refill here. So anyway, that's the big one. Owners that use their status to allow their ego to get in the way of becoming a great developer, a leader, run a better business, whatever it may be. Now, the other one that really chaps my dick, all right, on the ego front is number one, becoming too romantic about the way it was when you first fell in love with your fitness. I've talked about this a lot. I think your ego, like, no, but this is how it was back in the day, and not wanting to accept the fact that, yeah, but it is 2020, and you can't have your dog running around, fucking rubbing his dick all over the kettlebells with hair everywhere. Like there's, like you can't fucking do this, you can't do that. Like there's certain things you should probably update, Johnny. It's not fucking 2008 grungy warehouse scene anymore. And if you think it is, that's fine. Just let the rest of us who are going to have a little bit better aesthetic, create a more inclusive experience, show up, fuck you in the ass, and put you out of business in the next 10 years. Like, please, that's what's going to happen. It's bottom line what's going to happen when you refuse to accept the fact that the undergroundness of your concept, aka CrossFit is essentially what I'm talking about, was cool then. It's no longer underground, so you can no longer act underground. That's all I'm saying, okay? Now, that is an ego play, but I think the biggest thing on that I see is not necessarily willing to accept the change in the times and the market status and what the market wants, and understanding that, yeah, I got away with that back in the day because there was only 500 gyms, CrossFit gyms across the world, and now there's fucking 15,000. Like, it is truly this. The ego to believe that these other models, the ones that I'm referring to that are going to fuck you in the ass, these bigger models, and I know you might like, those F45s are shitty, those Orange Theories or whatever, Barry's is fucking crap. The ego that prevents you from wanting to learn from others, meaning you don't go check out other models. You talk shit on them on the internet, right? You're in your interwebs fucking, gym owners forum, like bashing all these other models that are fucking killing it in a growth perspective. I'm not sitting there at the fucking board meetings. I have no idea what they're really doing, but I think we could all be safe to say they're doing well. Okay. And instead of going and taking classes there, or going and maybe be like, hey, my name is Stu. I own the gym down the street. I love your model. I know we do different things. We're technically competitors, but I'm a big fan of collaboration over competition. Can I take you out for a cup of coffee sometime? Like at the Self-Made Summit, Brandon Cullen, Kirk DeWally, the founders of Metabolic, a true competitor of mine, a true competitor. I honestly put them as my only competitor in that space of the white space here in Charlotte. And I consider them colleagues, friends. Like I'm able to call Brandon and go out and grab a cup of coffee and talk personal life stuff. I love his model. I think it's amazing. I pay them to come speak at my fucking summit. I'm not cowering and talking shit on them from the corner. I have CrossFit gyms that still talk crazy shit on me. I had people come to the Self-Made Summit and we, ran into an owner who's not a big fan. And, this guy's just going off, pissed off at me. Like, where does that get anybody? The ego to think that because someone does something different and you don't agree with it, that you can't learn from them. I talked to you guys earlier how I don't think I don't know if any of you just saw that, but I just spilt fucking my whiskey all over the floor. We'll have to get that cleaned up before Gus wakes up. Because babies and whiskey is not a good combination. So I had those guys, or I talked about, I don't think I have the negative ego thing because I constantly looked at I could learn from people and I fuck with the people doing better than me and all that good shit. But where I see other owners really miss the ball on this is realizing that just because a model or a fitness methodology or a business is not what you want to create doesn't mean you can't learn from it. And I think that's where your ego got in the way. No. I do it this way. I do spin, and I only do spin. So what the hell do I need to go learn from a CrossFit gym for? Or, no, I have a rock climbing facility. What am I ever going to learn from yoga? It's utterly the level of ego to where you think you are so good at this thing that you can't learn from somebody else. You can't pick up a few tips here or there. Blows me away. And I cannot wait for you to get your shit rubbed in. I cannot wait for one day the other model opens up in town and you're like, holy fuck, that guy's kind of like what we do, but it's also kind of like a yoga studio. Like I can see the elements of yoga, like it's so neat and it's organized and good operational capacity. Fuck. Why didn't I think of, oh, that's right. Because I refuse to ever go to a yoga studio because I think yoga's for pussies. Or I don't do yoga. So I refuse to ever go. What can I learn from yoga? That is probably the biggest negative ego piece in my opinion. It's that it just drives me insane that you guys cannot see past the difference in the brand, the difference in the fitness methodology, or you just had this anger because you're probably not doing great with your business. Your business is probably suffering, so you want to shit on anybody who is doing really well. Now, fuck it, I can't learn from that guy. Fuck them. Like that. The guys that don't like me, right? Because I bailed on CrossFit. I'm doing urban movement and you guys know, you see the vlog. You fucking anyone can roll through Charlotte. I didn't go in today. On Tuesdays I'm at home with my kid. I got a call from Isaac. Hey, so and so from CrossFit, so and so is here, hanging out. Want to know if we can, if he can take class and ask questions. Sure, yes, fucking A. Deuce pings me. Hey, gym owner up, 30 minutes away, wants to swing by and bring his staff in and try out a class. Is that, of course, yeah, sure, fucking A. Tell him I'd love to grab coffee with him. The Iron and Mortar crew I always try to give them props on this, but the tagline of competition makes us faster, collaboration makes us better in the business sense, I cannot reiterate enough. And those of you guys who are looking at these other gyms and that again, like, well, it's a personal training studio. What can I learn from that? I don't know. How's personal training doing in your fucking gym? Maybe you could learn. Take these people out. We're like, and this is my favorite, but Stu, you don't get it. I've tried reaching out to these guys. No one my market sucks. No one wants to be friends. Okay. Try a lot. Try excessively. I, for someone who is perceived as having a crazy large ego, have managed to befriend almost everyone in my market that is even in the fitness thing. I go to functions. I go to things that are very Charlotte fitness based. I see people. I do research. If I know I'm going to a trade show, right? There was one at a brewery and I know which businesses are going to be there because it's public. And I go and do a little research. I just look on the websites. That way when I walk up, hey, my name's Stu. I'm with Urban Movement up the street. And I'm a huge fan of what you guys do. I think the hot yoga meets spin is a really cool idea. And I just want to let you know that I just, doing my homework and I checked out your website. I love your site, by the way. Your social media is great. I think that's so interesting. Come at, even if they're you trying to steal my clients? Are you trying to steal my, my staff? What is this guy trying to do? Who's this redheaded fuck walking up who smells like whiskey trying to sweet talk me right now? Again, you go at it and you get a negative, again, their ego gets in the way and they block you on that. Just move on and do it again and do it again and do it again. And maybe eventually they'll realize you're not trying to fucking steal their secrets, right? They're magical fitness secrets that none of us fucking have. And And then you can develop these relationships. Sure, I guarantee you guys will have other people in your market with huge ego that won't want to be friends with you, that will not want to go get coffee and talk shop. Show them this. Send them and show them this episode of Talking to Myself. Maybe that'll help. I mean, it's one of these things. The ego, in my opinion, will be the thing that catapults your business to another level. It'll give you the confidence to say, I'm going to try this new thing, right? I'm like, but I don't know if it's going to work, but fuck, I made this other thing work. I know how I made this work. And if I take those same core pillars that made my previous business model work to my new business model, I think I could be just as successful because I believe I am the fucking shit. I believe I know how to give an amazing client experience and create lasting relationships with my staff. And my staff then does that with my customers. That, my friends, is the thing that's going to allow you to be around in 20, 30, 40 years. But the ego to prevent you from networking, that gets you really pissy with your employees, even your customers. I didn't get into the ego with your customers because I just don't even think I should need to address that. Some of you guys just don't like some of your customers. I'll talk about it for a second. You don't like some of your customers, and you generally don't like them for reasons that you created. They're entitled because you allowed them to feel entitled. They're entitled, they're assholes because they don't pay enough, but it's because you're not charging them. You just have issues with your own customers, which are the easiest issues to get rid of by firing a customer, but you won't let it happen because of your ego. I just don't want to go down the customer route. I thought about talking about that. I feel like it's a duh thing. It's the one thing you should not have an ego with is your fucking paying customer. But the ego with the HR, with your staff, that's a huge one because those are the people that are going to grow your business. Those are going to be the people that are actually going to make a difference when it comes time for you to move on to a bigger role or do your next thing in your career or whatever that may be. So again, I hope one thing you took, I don't want to beat this dead horse enough. I know this is most of these times I do these long monologues. It's on multiple different topics. This is the first one I think where I went just one solo topic. Take this away. Ego being the energy you give out needs to be there. And if you don't have this good, positive, infectious, confident fucking energy, people will recognize it and they will gravitate towards people who do have it. You do. The reason you might be watching this and still listening fucking 40 some minutes in or whatever we are right now is because you like the confidence in which I come at you with this content on repeat every single fucking time. You might not always agree with it, but goddamn, that dude is so fucking steady on what he's saying. He believes in it wholeheartedly, and there's something that is just magnetic about that. Or, again, maybe you go ahead and you reassess this whole thing and you realize maybe you're the owner that's got that ego in the negative way. Or maybe you've got the ego in the good way. You're just afraid to pour gasoline on that fire because you've heard people talk so negatively about having an ego. You've been scared to have an ego. Look at this fucking thing behind me. Do what you can't. If that's not fucking ego driven, I don't know what is. Do what you can't. Do what you can't. There's a thing you can't do. Go do it. I can't do this. I'm going to go do that now. Wait, you just told me I can't do it? Okay, good. All right, just wait there for a second. Hold my beer. I'm going to go do it. If that is an ego that fuels you, that fuck you, I can do that. One thing I would get into arguments with my wife about this. Don't tell me I can't do something. Tell me you don't want me to do something. Steve Pinkerton. Steve, if you're listening to this, you and me, I remember we had a great conversation on this. Steve told me the same thing. Don't ever tell me I can't do something. Just tell me you don't want me to do something. And I'll totally my empathy and sympathy and whatever. But don't you dare tell me I can't do something. I'm the same fucking way. And that's ego. That's ego fueling it because I know what I'm capable of. And I have confidence in myself to do the things people say I cannot do. And that is why I'm fucking dangerous. I'm beyond confident in myself. And that level of confidence is going to attract employees, attract customers. And as long as you don't let it fucking eat you alive, as long as you don't allow it to become this douchey persona caricature, right? Named Brad, who drinks Heineken and Jaeger bombs and fucking wears a fucking buttoned down with the sleeves undone every fucking Friday night at the club with his fucking, bedazzled Affliction jeans. Like, you guys get the idea. You guys get the fucking visual I'm giving you. You don't let your ego become that guy. Fuck. It could be a winning combination for you. Guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you. If you enjoyed this, if you liked it, if you hated it, please comment, DM me, whatever below. And yeah, I promise, I know it's been a minute since we've done these. I will do another one here soon. I want to get maybe one more done before the end of the year. But thank you so much. Go ahead and work on your fucking ego. I've just given you permission that it is okay to fucking have one. Grow it, foster it, develop it, and use it in the right way. Because I'm telling you, it is one of your greatest fucking assets as a business owner. Thanks, guys.
When there's no one else inside, in the crowd.